Alright, so I'm playing another rapid game here. Did a few blitz games, but I'm still struggling a bit to play quick enough and communicate my thoughts while playing blitz. So, okay, let's go for the King's Gambit. Opening I've been experimenting with a little bit lately. And he plays the critical G5, so playing knight c3 here, which is called the Quaid attack. It's actually popularized by a book by Grandmaster John Shaw, which is called Play the King's Gambit. He um, advocates this knight c3 move. And here black could go queen h4 check, which most people do, but it's not really the critical move. This d6 business, h5. Yeah, this is very odd. I don't believe in d6. I think it just helps me to get back the g pawn, and I think the f4 pawn will be very weak. Probably just win it straight away with, let's say, d4. Could consider d3 also. So, knight g4. That seems too much. He's not developing his pieces. I'm by taking on f4 now, I will have developed 3 pieces. If he plays, let's say, queen h4 afterwards, I have many moves like queen f3 or g3 or bishop g3, so I think I can just take on f4. And yeah, he can take on f2 and I don't get the castle, but usually in the King's Gambit you often castle kind of by hand anyway, like manually castle instead of doing an actual castling. In this Quaid variation, you often castle queenside. So he's kind of threatening to take on f4 and d4, but if I castle long, he's not going to be able to do that anymore. So I think I can just do that. His rating is, yeah, decent. It's always a bit hard to actually get high level opposition in these rapid games or 10-minute games. I just realized that my webcam is kind of strangely positioned here, so let's just move it over there. Taking on d4 doesn't work because I just take on h6 and then take on d4 afterwards. I don't think he has any intermediate moves or anything like that. So now I'm just I'm a pawn up and I have a strong center, so usually white gives up a pawn himself to have this center. Usually it's white that has gambited the pawn, but here it's the other way around, and that shouldn't bode very well for black. I think it's close to almost winning out of the opening. So yeah, it's a neat little trick, I guess. If I take on h6, he might take on f2 with a knight with a fork on my rooks. So, and he's also threatening to take on f4. But if bishop takes h6, knight takes f2, I might have bishop g5. And he has to move his queen away from the protection of the knight. But let's say bishop takes h6, knight takes f2, bishop g5, queen g6, queen takes f2 check, takes f2, and then queen takes g5 check. This is one possibility. Knight d5 might actually work, because knight d5, bishop takes f4, and then knight takes f6 check. This is important. And then I win the queen. And if knight d5, queen takes f4, I just take the queen. So that does look very strong. So let's think a little bit more about that. Knight d5, queen takes d4, bishop takes h6, and then knight takes c7 will come, and I think that's just winning material. f2 will be hanging in some cases, but so I think if I play knight d5, he has to protect c7 somehow, like play queen d8, I guess is the only move. And if he has to do that, then it should be really good for me, so let's do it. That was kind of my thought process here. Positions like this, there's not much to say like strategically, because it could have been an interesting strategical position if Black had played more sensibly, but here he's just giving up. He gave up 2 pawns in the opening. He should have been 1 pawn ahead, and now he's 1 pawn to the worse. So I think, yeah, you just kind of calculate the moves. So now knight takes g4 is interesting. So for instance, knight takes g4, bishop takes g4, bishop takes h6. That should win 2 pieces for a rook, like he will take on d1. So knight takes g4, and if he takes on f4, I take back with the queen. And then if bishop takes g4, I have knight f6 check, which is very strong. So let's see once more. Like knight takes g4, bishop takes h6, bishop takes d1, and I might even have an intermezzo with bishop g5, which is very strong. That actually wins the queen, I think. So yeah, this should be very strong. So he has to do that, and I even have, actually I just realized I have an intermezzo here. Knight g, f6 check, and if he takes with the queen on f6 to take my queen on d2 later, I will take back with check, so that doesn't work. So that means I actually get to keep an extra piece here. Yes, this is winning a piece. Yeah, he resigned. Okay, so that was a very quick game. Let's look at the analysis here, just really quickly. This is called the Quaid Gambit, as you can see here. Lichess in the analysis immediately recognizes the opening, and here an interesting line is queen h4 check, but then this line is very strong for white here, and there's a trick. If it looks like g2 is strong here, but then you take on h4, black takes the rook and gets a new queen, but then queen h5 is very strong, attacking this, and this kind of hopeless, like knight h6 and then just d4 hitting h6, and this has been known for a while to be a very good position for white. So many players actually fall into that trap. But instead he played d6. Interesting line here is knight c6, knight takes g4, queen h4 check, knight f2, and then bishop c5, pinning the knight. But then white has to be very careful. You actually have to play d4 like this, and then queen f3, and it's an interesting position. So knight c6 is an interesting move against this line. d6 I've never seen before, and it's probably a good reason why. And h5, I don't think that's a very reasonable follow-up. After this, I mean, you could almost claim that white has a winning advantage here. And after this move, here I think, yeah, it's pretty much winning advantage. I think I managed to find the correct moves. So it was a very quick game. I'll try to get some more rapid games up and running. So until then, thanks for watching.